Valley,
sits completely
getting ready to
on my
leave, and
hips.
lucky
And
for
so
me,
there's like no
the
shoulder
shuttle
weight.
guy brought these people out here,
So
and I heard her
it's
talking,
like people are like, oh.
and this is going to be a very interesting interview. Very interesting interview coming up. Give me your trail name.
I'm going this year by Hyper 99.
Hyper 99, and tell me why you're going by Hyper 99.
Because I hiked in 99 and I had the name Hyper. I don't really feel quite as hyper as I was back in 99, so I guess it's nostalgic. That's the best I can do with it.
When you hiked it in 1999, what made you do it in 99? What caused you to do that?
A job that fell through. I was supposed to start a job and I called them and I said, okay, when do you want me to show up? And they said, didn't we tell you? We decided not to hire you. And I was just so angry about it, I decided to go hiking.
Wow, wow. And you did a northbound hike?
I did. I started in Springer Approach Trail.
We'll get you a little. So just walk here and then we'll walk back just so I don't, that noise will kill your answers. I want to make sure because this is very important.
Started Springer Approach Trail April 7th. I finished August 28th. It was 120 hiking days.
Wow.
140 days total.
Wow.
Yeah, there was a stretch I was really proud of where I did 30 days in a row, more than 20 miles every day.
Wow.
So it was pretty cool.
How much weight were you carrying then?
32 pounds.
32?
Yeah. And I mean, I dropped it a little bit. I'm probably down to about 24, 25 now. But I was reasonably light then as well. And the pack itself, I'm using, it's actually my mother's pack.
Your mother's pack?
My mother's pack. And
Come
that
on.
pack is probably 30 years old.
Really?
And it has already seen about, close to 5,000 miles.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I keep on going back to it for all the fancy lightweight packs that are out there. This thing has an internal plastic frame that sits on my waist and my butt, and it's really comfortable, and it doesn't matter. I keep on trying the new packs, and they can't match how comfortable this thing is. And so it's easier to carry more weight, and it's about 3.5 pounds. Yeah, 3 pounds. And that's, you know, maybe a pound extra, but for the comfort I get out of it, it's worth it.
What, do you tent or do you hammock?
I tent.
Okay.
Yeah, I also have a very large dog.
You do have a very large dog.
And she does not fit in the hammock.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true. Didn't even think about that. Now, of course, when you did it before, you didn't have a dog with
Correct.
you, I feel sure. Tell me the major, I mean, there's so many changes since 99. Tell me the differences right now as they come through your mind about doing it this time.
There's a lot more people on the trail, and there's also a lot more services on the trail.
Okay, let's talk about people first. When you were doing it in 99, how many people were around you and he likes your pack or he's telling you let's go?
I just don't remember that many people outside of the shelters. Layla, there, you know, where yes, we did have people tenting, but the majority of people could stay in a shelter.
Okay.
Shelters were cleaner, less, you know, just less impact. Everything had less impact back then. So we, you know, and you didn't see, like, we didn't have norovirus. We didn't have really much problems with bear bags or needing them even. It was a little more Wild West, I would say. You know, things weren't necessarily done as well as they are now, but, you know, when you have more people, you have to have more sort of better people management.
I'm assuming the bear bags, I didn't think about that till you just said that. You said y'all didn't have to worry about bear bags. My wife actually didn't use a bear bag much in 2014, but...
Well, bear bag, but I mean, we didn't even hang bags.
That's right. But did you see very many bears?
I saw one.
Did anybody in 99 that you know of get Lyme disease?
I know it was a worry. People did worry about it. but I don't recall anybody specifically.
What about rattlesnakes? How many rattlesnakes did you see?
I saw one pack of rattlesnakes.
Wow,
So
wow.
I was in Pennsylvania.
Lots more rattlesnakes, or else there's so many more people, you hear so much more about them. Because
Mm.
everybody that I know that has hiked the Appalachian Trail sees one or two now. And that's a lot of people that are seeing the same snake a lot of times, I guess. The electronics probably, though, is the biggest
Oh
change,
yeah,
right?
that's huge. That's huge. Um, I actually carried a flip phone.
Really?
I did, but I basically didn't turn it on unless I was in town, and
Okay,
it was only sort of emergency call, let my parents know that I was still alive, kind of thing.
okay.
And now people are hiking with music. I mean that actually is something that really weirds me out because I feel like you're trying to get out in nature and you're listening to Metallica the whole time. It's like, really, why don't you just do that in the gym?
Now, how many miles will you hike today, do you think?
I don't think I will make it all the way to Damascus today. It's 21.
21.
I did 20 yesterday, and I'm thinking maybe I'll do somewhere 18.
Okay,
Changes in terms of my personal changes. Had a total knee replacement in November.
okay.
So I'm finding that's really regulating my distance. Where normally 20 would be a comfortable distance, my knee tells me that, nope, you're stopping now. So,
Okay,
so that changes as you get older. You have different
absolutely.
things happen.
When do you expect to be finished this year?
I have no idea. I don't worry
Really
about
don't
it.
worry about it.
Never think about it.
Really?
Whenever I get there.
Wow. And how will you get home once you get there? Do you know that at this point?
Yes, because I'm from New Hampshire, so I have lots of friends pretty close by that I can just call someone. Someone will be there
And when
that
you
day
get to New
anyway.
Hampshire, will anybody come hike with you any?
I've talked to a couple of people, but people tell you, "Oh yeah, I'll be there for you," and then when you call them, they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm busy that weekend. My kids got recital, or something." So I don't count on that either.
Okay, I'm going to ask you the next question that I almost forgot to ask a guy that just left, and he did it more than 10 years ago. When you're off the trail, how often do you think about the trail?
It depends.
Okay,
When it's been more recent, you can think about it a fair bit, but over time it fades.
it does?
Certainly, yeah,
Okay,
I think it fades. It's for me, it wasn't a constant, real, visceral thing.
okay,
My life moved on. I had other things I needed to do.
okay.
But obviously, I came back 20 years later, so clearly it's still been floating around in there a little bit.
Now
So,
I think I heard you say something about your hike you did. It was more than just a northbound. You did some more
yeah.
miles.
Yeah, I went northbound, more traditional style. And when I was hiking northbound, I had met some southbounders that I was very intrigued by, and I wanted to catch up to them. So I actually finished the trail and caught up with them in Virginia and hiked all the way back to Georgia with them.
Really?
So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
That's interesting. That's very
So
interesting.
started in April 7th and then technically you could say finished December 18th.
Now,
So
if you can remember back that far,
Mhm.
having done the trail going north, was you an asset to them?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I had not clearly, but I had sort of eidetic memory, which is sort of photographic memory. So it's like when we were southbounding, they'd go, okay, this is where we're going. And I'd go, oh yeah, I remember this part. This is where this happens, this happens. This is, it's kind of rocky in the beginning. And I had like this perfect memory of the hike that I could share with them as we were hiking south. The one thing that was really funny though, they were laughing about it because when I started the trail, I basically rolled off the couch. So I wasn't like in training or doing anything. So I was not in shape. And so the Georgia portion and the beginning of the trail was quite hard for me. And so obviously by the time you get to Damascus, you're in shape. But so when I was explaining to them, like, oh, Blood Mountain or something like that, and I was like, oh, it's really hard and it's really steep, and yet now they are in shape and I am in shape, and we're going through this section. She said, Heidi, you made it sound a lot worse than it really was. And I said, I know, I thought it was. And the closer we got to Georgia, the more my memory said it was really hard. And the more they were laughing at me because it wasn't for us now. And so it was interesting how my memory of that portion, that experience, really changed based on my own ability to hike it.
And that's interesting because I'm curious of how you're going to answer what I'm going to ask you next.
Uh-oh.
What I've been seeing out here since my wife hiked in 2014, when I was with them in Maine as they were hiking, it was almost like they had been in a concentration camp. They had lost weight, they had sunken eyes, and they just were ready to be off the trail.
Really?
Any day.
Oh.
And this, now when I see southbounders or flip-floppers, they are not that same way. And
Well, see, my theory is, I don't know, so men usually finish the trail. My story is men usually finish the trail looking like Holocaust victims.
You're right.
Women usually finish the trail looking like aerobics instructors.
You're right.
And oftentimes, depending on if a person's overweight or not, but like a thin woman, generally at the end does not lose weight. They redistribute it. They might lose some weight, but they actually just tone up.
Now you're exactly
really
right. My wife falls into that. She lost about 8 or 9 pounds, where the guys lost 50.
Yeah.
Most of them lost 50.
Oh yeah, no. Men. I think the male body is designed to burn everything off, and it's very hard for men to keep their weight. And women somehow, I don't know why, I don't know how it works, but we just somehow get stronger.
Yeah, but I'm wondering about the deal about, because it's very obvious now. I can bring anybody out here with me, and they can see the difference in a southbounder when they're within 200 miles of finishing versus somebody. And I'm wondering, though, if that's because of the mentality of the people that do it nowadays versus years ago, too. Because, you got a lot of different people doing it now that wouldn't have done it in 99 or even years before.
Well, I don't know.
You didn't see that in the group you were with, obviously.
Well, as I said, the men looked like Holocaust victims.
They did to you?
Looked like aerobics instructors.
Okay. And I haven't seen that.
And it might be that going northbound,
Well, see, I think
you don't have as many services.
Right.
Where here, like especially in this area, you can eat town food almost every night if you wanted to.
Right.
And having access to town food is huge.
But also, and I'll let you kind of help me with this, going northbound, when you got to the White Mountains, your body was kind of wore out when you got to the hardest part. Well, a lot of people I see,
think that, yeah.
they seem that. Whereas a southbounder, they go through the hardest part of what most people consider the hardest part earlier on, and have the easier part that's not easy, but it comparably in the end. And so I don't know.
Oh no, Smokies are still hard.
Yeah, they are.
And you're still, but you're right. Smokies is a much more gradual climb.
That's right.
Where the whites are pretty in your face.
Yeah. Well,
and actually, Maine gets short shrift, but I found a section between New Hampshire border and the beginning of the 100-mile wilderness. There's some tough climbs in there as well that get no attention.
Yeah, Wildcat,
but also Saddleback. There are a number of I called them cannonballs.
Yeah.
They were these huge just rocks, and I was amazed at how difficult they were to climb, and also like you would never have been able to climb it had it been raining, because it was like really smooth granite and steep, and I was like, how are you supposed to hike this if it's raining? I mean, obviously it wasn't that day, so I was happy, but.
Yeah, it was when my wife went through Madison and all, and they had to slide down a lot of that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the guy I just interviewed, Subman, this is his third through hike.
Oh, really?
He made a comment that this one's harder mentally because he's already done this twice, and he starts thinking, why am I out here doing it again? This is your second one. It's a long time in between, so you're just as excited this year, almost maybe, as you did the first one?
I have to agree with that, man. It is harder because you've already had a lot of the amazing experiences, and you're like, I mean, but at the same time, I look at the pictures I've collected already and the story that I've already written in that sense, and it's awesome, you
Yeah.
know. But there's
I hear this plane. I heard this plane come up.
it's a helicopter. It looks like a
Helicopter.
rescue helicopter of some kind.
Probably just playing around because they came through here yesterday evening,
Yeah,
same
I saw
exact.
that as
So
well.
they probably just doing pattern something with helicopter. Yeah, I can understand that because I've had 3 people this year that's already completed their first through hike and they quit before mile 160 this year, and they gave me the same answer, that they had already done it and they decided they wanted to, they're going home. They thought they wanted to come back out here and do it again.
Yeah.
I don't see that in you. Is anything you're really looking forward to north of us from here?
Well, yeah, if I want to do like the highlights. So my highlights would be I want to do Shenandoah. I want to do that, the Blue Ridge Parkway. I'm really looking forward to Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine. Like if I were just gonna pick sections that I'd want to do, I would do Vermont through the Maine border.
Sure.
Definitely Mahoosic Notch, and then actually the 100-mile wilderness in Katahdin.
Okay.
So you're right. I mean, I'm actually not looking forward to this section in Virginia
Okay.
up until the Shenandoahs, mainly because, well, partly I don't remember it,
Okay.
but I just remember Brushy Mountain.
Huh?
Brushy Mountain, I think, is one long ridge of a mountain that's about 800 feet high. And all you do is cross it from the left, and then you cross it from the right, and then you cross it from the left, and then you cross it from the right. And I remember going, I am really sick of Brushy Mountain.
Yeah. What about hostels? Any hostels that you stayed at that you're wanting to stay that's still open or something?
The only hostels that I'm interested I mean, what's interesting is how much that's changed.
Yes.
It's like there
Yes.
were like 3 hostels back then, and now there's like, 3 at every road crossing.
Right.
But the Pie Lady and the other one, the 2 in Rangeley in Vermont, in Maine, at the 100-mile wilderness, those are big.
Shaw's. What about Shaw's?
Shaw's and the Pie Lady, I think, were the 2 of them. And then I remember Uncle Johnny's, which has also grown and changed.
What about the cabin, Honey and Bear?
Did
Up
not
in-
exist.
It did not exist
I
in
do not
99.
remember Honey and Bear.
Wow, I thought I'm positive they were there. I'm positive
Maybe.
they.
I
Yeah,
mean,
because
I could have just not
he's
heard
the
about
only
it.
one that's hosted all 3 of Schafer and the other guys at the
So,
same time.
Earl Schafer, he hiked in 99 again.
I know.
We met him. I don't remember that. I just remember Woods Hole.
Yeah, Woods Hole was there.
Yeah.
Granddaughter now, or daughter
Yeah.
of the lady. Now, what about when you went across the James River Bridge? It wasn't where it is now. You went across the old
Where?
bridge at Glasgow, right out out of Daleville, about 60 miles. You had to cross the James River Bridge, and now they've got a footbridge
Yeah.
they dedicated in 2000.
Cool.
And so it wasn't, I don't think it was there in 99. In 85, I know it wasn't there because they got a book out on the Appalachian Trail of 85. Well, that's interesting about the hostels for you, that
Yeah.
you didn't.
I didn't stay in that many. I know I did. I just didn't stay in that many, and they just didn't seem that common. But
Did you have to hitchhike to go to the stores then to get your
yes,
food?
yep, I remember doing
Do you
that.
remember any of those experiences being harder than the other? It's like, is there anywhere that you remember, golly, that was hard to go get that food?
No,
It was just
no,
part of it,
people-
huh?
Yeah, and people even then were really accommodating. They'd see a hiker and they'd help right out.
Okay.
So that was really impressive.
Well, I am so glad I was here this morning to catch you. I love talking to somebody that's done it several years back because I think there's a big difference nowadays. And for somebody that decides to come back and do it.
I did.
And when did you decide, when did you know you would be bringing your dog?
When I acquired a dog.
Okay.
I mean, I did not. She's a rescue,
Hmm.
and I didn't have anybody to leave her with. So so I was like, I guess you're coming with me. And she was the right age that, I mean, dogs are a big overhead in
I
so
know.
many ways.
I interviewed a southbounder last year that had a dog, and she carried 50 pounds of dog food between the dog and her. And
Yeah.
she was very fit when I saw her at Springer. And she was with that dog, and the dog's a little smaller than your dog, not much.
Yeah, no, bigger dogs, they eat more food.
And
She's got big saddlebags because she carries a lot
she
of
carries
her
her
own food.
all of her food.
Yeah, but I resupply fairly often.
Okay.
But it's the biggest thing I'm into now is we're in poison ivy zone, and I am quite susceptible to it. And I can watch myself pretty well,
Not her.
but I can't watch her.
That's
so I expect I'm going to have some problems, and not looking forward to how that's going to be dealt with.
Okay, we've been talking long enough. I got to let you go. Give us your trail name one more time so they'll
It's
make sure they hear it.
it's Hyper 99.
Hyper 99, and it was Hyper before?
Yes,
Just Hyper.
just
So
Hyper.
this is your anniversary.
This is my 20th anniversary.
Anybody you want to say hello to if they happen to watch this and see you on here?
Anybody from 99?
I like that. God bless every step between here and Katahdin, and thank you for taking some time with us.
Thank you.